right, good afternoon, everybody. I am David Marquardt, Director of Grand Rapids Parks and Recreation. Welcome to Aberdeen Park. We are so pleased to have all of you out here today. This is an exciting moment for us as we continue to break ground on new projects across the city, thanks in part to the voter-approved Parks Millage in 2013. Special thanks today to a few individuals. We've got our Mayor Bliss, here with us today. Commissioner Kelly, thank you for being out here. I want to recognize our project team, Progressive AE, Craig, I see you here. Thank you for your work on this project, and Tiffany from their team as well. Hey, Caterberg, we're excited to have you guys as a part of this construction project and completing this work for us. Carrie, as our project management team, I want to thank you for this effort. This is an exciting moment. Last week we had the opportunity to celebrate a grand opening down at Ball Park. The cool thing about all of this work that's ongoing is that these are momentous, great moments in our city and in our history. But last night, Stephanie with Friends of Grand Rapids Parks was down at Ball Park activating that park, bringing life to the park. That is equally as important as all of these groundbreakings and all of these grand openings as well. So thank you for your efforts on that too. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mayor Bliss for a few words, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited to be here. This is one of my favorite things to do, is come break ground at parks and really move forward all of the work that we know needs to happen in our parks to make them beautiful, safe places for children. And I love seeing some of the kids here from the neighborhood. You get to watch the construction happen, and then when we're back out here in a few months doing the grand reopening, you'll be able to be out here celebrating with us and going to enjoy the park. This is the park and the home for our Plainfield fire station, so we're glad to have our firefighters here. And I know many of you have been out in the parks when our fire department shows up and they turn on the hoses so that kids can play in the water. And they're always out for National Night Out, and they're just important parts of this neighborhood but also our community. So thank you all for your service. Appreciate you being here. So again, I want to thank everyone who helped make this happen, including our partners at Friends of Grand Rapids Parks, who helped lead the way in educating people about the importance of parks in this community, and then every single person who stepped up to vote for the Parks Millage that passed a couple years ago. We truly would not be able to do the work that we're doing today in parks all across the city without the generosity of the residents in the community. So I want to just say thank you so much, and we're eager to break ground. And I'll turn it back to David or to Commissioner Kelly. Second Ward City Commissioner. She and I used to represent this neighborhood together, and so I'll turn it over to Ruth.
Well, I will not take much time, but I do want to say thank you for coming today. And it was just a few short years ago that I remember when Creston was involved and went after a Kaboom grant. I see Megan here from Creston Neighborhood Association, and we were all celebrating that awakening of this park, and that was part of the struggle that we had to keep these parks vibrant during the recession, and that's where Friends of Grand Rapids Parks came in. So we thank you for all the work that you have done over the years. You brought in hundreds of volunteers to get us through the recession, and then, like the mayor said, our residents stepped forward and voted for the Parks Millage, and now we're seeing the revival of our parks. So all of you who worked on this, architects and planners and Parks Department, we thank you so much.
This park went through a significant design process. I want to thank the neighbors that are showing up here today. Many of you are part of that design process, and many others as well. That's why we are seeing what we are seeing today, primarily some walking paths and a chance to be a part of nature and experience nature in a way that we cannot in other parts of this city. So the goal of this project really is, from the neighbors' perspective, to keep most of that intact and be able to activate the space in that way and make it more of a learning lab, if you will, in this part of the city. So this is a great moment and a chance to be here breaking ground on this important project. The other cool part about this work, once we're completed with it, is that we've got our Friends of Grand Rapids Parks organization that is coming alongside this work and helping us to educate people on the use of trails and how to care for those trails and really steward this land well into the future. So Stephanie, I want to thank you for being a part of this work as well. Today we also have our Mayor of Grand Rapids with us, our City Manager. I want to thank you as well for your steady hand in guiding these investments, and City Commissioner Kelly as well. So Mayor Bliss, I'd like to invite you up for a few words, please.
When I was a city commissioner and represented the Second Ward with my incredible colleague, Commissioner Kelly, I was a part of the Green Grand Rapids planning process, and so that was probably almost 10 years ago now, and we talked about this park. So some of you who are here today were a part of that process, and we talked about wanting to add a trail and wanting people to have access to this beautiful natural space in our beautiful neighborhood. And now it's coming to fruition, and truly who we have to thank for that is really all of you. And it's the residents that stepped up and agreed and voted yes to support a parks millage so that we could invest in our parks and improve all of the capital projects that we knew we needed to spend money on. So I want to personally thank everyone who worked on the campaign, who advocated for that, and then who voted yes. And I also want to thank the neighborhood. Betsy's here today. Nika is a very strong voice in this neighborhood. They love this space, they love this park, and they're always a strong voice for doing what's in the best interest of the North End. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for your leadership. I'm so excited to be here, and now I'll turn it over to my colleague, City Commissioner Ruth Kelly.
Well, I too want to express my thanks to everybody who stepped up and voted for the millage, for all of you who have been involved in working on the plans for this park, and that is still ongoing. So thank you, Nika, for taking on some of the difficult decisions that have to happen around this park. And I don't know if all of you know this, but Betsy and the board have also worked very hard to preserve Perkins Farm, which is right on Leonard Street. And that was a wonderful situation. There was actually a developer that purchased the land, planned to put up apartments, and they intervened and said, hey, will you please change your mind? And got lots of people to come out and convince them to do so. And now we have Kids Food Basket using that land, and they will have a small farm by it. So the work that these neighborhood associations do, and they're all volunteer, mind you, here in the North End, is amazing. So thank you so much for the work you've done all along to support this neighborhood and protect this beautiful space.
We are so pleased to have all of you out here today. This is a great milestone for Alexander Park. We are here to break ground on new park improvements, and we're very excited about that. We would not be standing here today without the community engagement, and I want to thank all of you as neighbors that have come down here today to celebrate this great milestone, and I want to thank you especially for your participation in the community outreach that we did. That is exactly why you see this remarkable drawing up here on this board. Those are your ideas. We always say this is your city, these are your parks. That really has no meaning unless all of you are participating and sharing your voices, which you stepped up and you did in great numbers, and I want to thank you for that and thank all of your neighbors as well.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce our very own mayor, Mayor Bliss, to say a few words, and then we're going to grab some shovels and break ground on this important project.
Thank you. I love parks for so many reasons, but I really love parks like this, like Alexander Park, which is a neighborhood park, and it's a place where children come and neighbors gather and connect, and they share and develop relationships, and great cities have great parks, and they have great neighborhood parks. So thank you all for being here, everyone who helped make this happen. I want to give a shout out to Stephanie from Friends of Grand Rapids Parks. They're a nonprofit organization doing a lot of work to advocate for parks, but also to get volunteers out to help make our parks beautiful and advocate for making our parks the best parks in this state. So a couple other people I want to thank all of you, all of the neighbors who are here today. I hope that you enjoy watching this space be redeveloped. And I want to give a special thanks to our community who several years ago stepped up and voted yes for a Parks millage, and that allowed us to have the funds to do projects like this, to invest back into our parks, back into these amazing assets that we love so much. The other thing I want to say is that we've been working, no one's here from Grand Rapids Public Schools, but I want to give a shout out to them because we work really closely with them and have developed that relationship over the years, but just recently really looking at what we can do to encourage children to connect with nature, get outside and explore, and that's been a really great partnership. And David has led the way on that, so I just want to say thank him. I want to say thank you to David for all of his work, but also to GRPS for being great partners.